Hello, everyone. This is Pam from Your Nurse Advocates Consulting, and it's another episode of Tuesday Tips. Have you ever wondered, as we age and think about our aging parents, how do we know when we should step in and maybe give some assistance or at least maybe help them manage, their care or just start to look after them a little bit more as they age? How do we know when it's time? And one of the things is I've taken these categories, and we're going to talk about the four different areas of needs that we can look at. And we took this from our course. We have a course on when is it time to step in and assist your aging parents. And so I'll leave that information in the show notes. But for tonight's Tuesday tips, just wanted to share a little bit, give you some food for thought, and show you the four areas of needs that your aging parents may have. And so the first area of need would be home safety. And what do we mean by home safety? Well, that's everything from uh, throw rugs, fall hazards. How often have they had any falls? How many falls have they had in the last 6 months? If they have, more than 2 falls in the last 6 months, that might be an issue. Losing or misplacing things. We all lose our keys now and then, but are they finding their car keys in their underwear drawer or in the refrigerator? This could be, symptoms of some dementia that's going on. What about increase, in confusion or forgetfulness? They're leaving the stove on. I mean, that would be a huge home safety concern. Some of the other things in home safety would be, again, the bathroom. Do they need grab bars? Do they need a tub bench? These are the type of things that we walk through in our course for you. It has it has a workbook. It's self-guided. It has many videos, and we walk you through this whole process right into putting that beginning plan in place with identifying some resources. So let's look at category number two. Category number two would be health management. So what kind of things would you be looking for if you were seeing how they were managing their health? Maybe are they taking their medications correctly? Do they have them in a pill caddy and you notice that they're missing days, or they're taking, if they have a what we call a bubble pack where it's in the card and they just punch out, the medications, are they missing days, or are the days, goofed up? They're taking from random weeks. So it makes it very hard to know if they're taking their medication properly. Maybe they're missing doctor's appointments. We had one of our clients had dementia, and they would write the doctor's appointments on the calendar and they would do everything that they could, but they were still forgetting. They were still not showing up for their doctor's appointments. What about trouble seeing? Are they having trouble with their vision? Are they having trouble if they've given insulin to themselves? Maybe they're having trouble being able to dial up the pen, see the numbers. Are they misreading things? Do they just need, a trip to the eye doctor? Or maybe one of the other things that's important in seeing how they're managing their health is how many times in the last 6 months have they been in the emergency room. That also would be a red flag to say, hey, things are getting a little bit out of control. Maybe I need to step in and kind of figure out what's going on. Let's go on to the third and the fourth categories of looking at, how do these four categories help you to assess these four areas in the lives of your aging parents. And again, to look for these warning signs, look for these red flags that maybe would be an indication that you need to step in and get a little bit more involved. Not necessarily, jump in and take away their independence and put them in an assisted living or a nursing home. No, these are proactive things that you can recognize early on and be aware of, so that we can put plans in place to keep them as safe in their home for as long as possible. So let's look at the third category. The third category is nutrition or hygiene needs. One of the most common things you could see is if there's any unexplained weight loss. Especially if you're an out-of-town family member and you come in, it's been a few months since you've seen your parents, and one of them said, their clothes look baggy, they're kind of loose. Hey, that'd be a sign to start asking some questions. Hey, mom, I've noticed that you've been losing some weight. Have you been trying to lose weight? Oh no, honey, my appetite just isn't what it is. I just keep kind of losing weight, but I feel okay. That's still a red flag. A lot of times, and I hate to be negative, but a lot of times, when there's a cancer brewing, unexplained weight loss is one of the first signs, even before they start feeling bad. They might feel tired or but or feel off, but otherwise they're feeling pretty normal. Urine odors in the home. You walk in the home and it kind of smells, like the smell of urine. It could be that are they getting their laundry done? Are they having problems with incontinence? Are they having accidents? If they're sitting in the chair, can't get up fast enough. Are they leaking a little bit? I mean, these are the kind of things to watch for. Also, look in the refrigerator. Look in the cabinets. How long has the food been outdated? If there's any outdated food, or the milk's gone sour, or look and see what they've got in the freezer. Is it filled with freezer meals? Or just again, without being intimidating and asking them a bunch of questions, just use your eyes, your ears, your nose, your senses. Just use all of that as you're there, and just kind of tune in to some of these things, and just kind of to look around without, being accusatory, and without saying, hey, what's that? Smells like pee in here. What's going on, Ma? They're going to shut down and they're not going to talk to you. So you got to make this really non-intrusive, and you got to remember, you're the kids, they're the parents. This is very difficult to share these kind of things with you as their children, because they've taken care of you. They don't want to lose that independence, and you're their child. You always will be their child. And so this kind of has to be handled with kid gloves, and really don't want to put them on the spot, or come at them, so to speak, with what's going on, because like I said, they're just going to shut down. All right, last one would be managing the home. So here's a big one. Isolation. Isolation has been huge, especially since COVID. We were all sheltering in place, and we didn't have a lot of contact, with other people. And so isolation in elderly is a big deal, because think about it. The older we get, our circle of friends and our circle of family starts to shrink, because the people around us are passing away. So, are they not getting out? Are they not going to church anymore? Are they not going to card club? Are they not, and if they're not going to these places, hey, Ma, or hey, Dad, I know Fridays you usually play cards with, the guys, and you haven't been going. What, is there something going on that you don't like to go anymore? And just try to be empathetic, and maybe, even your mom, you don't go to play bingo with the girls anymore. Is there something wrong? And we had this happen with a friend of ours is another advocate, and she was working with a patient, and this came up. And the reason why is because she had become incontinent, and she couldn't go and play cards for an hour and a half without having an accident. She was worried about the smell and that. So we got that advocate got pelvic floor exercises from physical therapy, and she got down to 1 pad a day. She was able to go back, and it really had changed her life. So it could be something just as simple that they're embarrassed to talk about. But, us as advocates, or there's other resources that you have within the clinic and the hospital that can help troubleshoot some of these issues and get their quality of life back. So it's just really important to just be aware of these things. Uh, is the house unusually unkempt? And everybody has their own way of keeping house, and not to be accusatory, but what we're looking for would be a change, something that is unusual, that it's different than how they usually keep their house. Pet odors. Are the pets being taken care of? If they're having trouble taking care of their pets, chances are they're having trouble taking care of themselves. So be aware of that. Last thing is, you walk into the house and you've got their stacks of bills that look like they're unpaid. Maybe they're having problems paying their bills now, and they need help with that. Again, they're not going to be running to you most of the time. Now, there are the exceptions, so I'll never say never, but it's been our experience that most of the time they're not going to call you up and say, hey, you know what? I'm having problems paying my bills. My mind just isn't as clear anymore. I could use some help. No, that's probably not going to happen unless you. And I'm not saying that won't, because some families have a really close relationship, and some children are have that good communication going, and that's wonderful. But it's oftentimes not the norm. So don't be afraid to have those conversations. Make sure that it's in a very casual manner. Ask questions, let them explain, um, and just kind of go from there. And these are the kind of things that we go through the class. And if that, if you'd be interested in learning more about this and looking at resources, we have actually in the course, we take these same color coded needs and we match them up with resources that would help address a lot of these needs. And then we start putting a plan in place and identify some resources. So if you're interested in that, just check that out. Like I said, I'll put the link in the video, and that'd be something that you could look at. But tonight, I just wanted to go ahead and give you the 4 different categories of areas where you can kind of be a detective, so to speak, and look at and try and assess some of the things that are going on, and if they may need some help. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this issue of Tuesday Tips, and we'll see you back here for the next one. Take care and have a good day.